4 things to consider before taking up a new hobby. So, you've made the decision to take up a new hobby. You've decided it's time for a change, and now all you need is something to do with your free time. Perhaps you're bored and looking for something to do. Perhaps you've always wanted to learn something new but haven't had the opportunity due to a lack of time or resources. Finding a new hobby can be a great way to get out of your comfort zone, meet new people, and stay healthy for a variety of reasons, physically and mentally. Here are 4 important considerations to make when looking for a new activity to get you started. Cost. The expense of a new hobby is one of the most crucial factors to consider. Not only should you think about the cost of getting started, but also how much time and money you'll need. For example, the cost of equipment, if needed. This could be anything from a mountain bike or swimming suit to a pair of skis or ice skates. If you're starting out with something expensive like golf clubs or an instrument, then you may have some costs up front. The cost of training. If there's an element of knowledge required for this hobby that can't be picked up on your own, such as playing the piano, then it will require some investment in lessons or classes. If this hobby involves travel, say hiking or fly fishing, then there may be additional transportation costs involved in addition to any necessary gear like tents or waders. Space. When deciding on a new hobby, consider the available space. First, determine how much space you have available for your new hobby. This can be as simple as counting the square feet in the room where you intend to spend the majority of your time, or as involved as taking measurements up against walls and furniture. Next, consider how much space is required for this particular hobby. Is a large amount of open space required? Can it be done with less space? Investigate similar hobbies, or even related activities, to see if there are any similarities in the amount of space required by participants. Then, take into account the amount of space you can afford, both physically and financially, and whether these spaces can be converted from rooms that are in use by other members of your family, or whether renting is a better choice than purchasing property solely for this hobby. Effort. Consider how much time and effort you're willing to put into a new hobby before diving in headfirst. The amount of time and effort you put into your endeavor will determine whether or not it becomes a regular part of your life. There are many enjoyable activities that consume far too much time, so think about what is realistic for you and make your decisions accordingly. If you don't have enough free time during the day, start small by doing one activity per week until your stamina improves. Alternatively, you could try a few things on different days of the week to give each hobby its own slot in your schedule. Dependability. It's crucial to think about how dependable they are. You don't want to waste time on something that fails to meet your expectations and leaves you disappointed or discouraged. A dependable hobby will provide you with something enjoyable and beneficial, as well as something that you can rely on in the future when you need a hobby. Consider these questions. How quickly does this hobby take? Is there an end point? Do I know what the next step is after this one? Will I be able to come back to it and enjoy doing it again? Does this have some sort of goal or endpoint that I can look forward to, such as taking an exam? Can I make money from this somehow, like selling items made by hand? Conclusion. I'm not saying you can't start a new hobby, but I would advise you to proceed with caution. Go for it if it's something you really want to do. Just make sure you are aware of the risks and don't get caught up in the excitement of starting something new instead of focusing on what is most important, the health and happiness of your family.